Today we're talking about depression, dude, because DC Comics has canceled some of my favorite comic book series on stands. Today we're just going to talk through it, guys. This is like a memorial service of what could have been. First series we're talking about, Green Arrow, dude. They canceled Green Arrow. Listen, this was legitimately a top 5 series at DC, and they've gone and canceled the thing, man. So ever since Chris Condon took over with Montos as the artist, I've been loving this Green Arrow series, man, but I guess it wasn't doing too well sales-wise, and they decided to cancel it. So let me read it here from the writer of the series, Chris Condon. This is from his Patreon. As some of you may have seen on Blue Sky, I announced that 31 issue of Green Arrow will be the last one that I write. Thought I'd take a minute to clarify some things. He goes down here and he says that Green Arrow has never been a top seller at DC. Kind of makes sense when you have Batman dominating the charts, stuff like that, but you really wish there was room for a Green Arrow series to succeed in the market. Anyways, he talks about how it never got over the hump where DC wants the sales to be, and that's really unfortunate. If you're not selling, you're not going to continue to make for long. On top of this, DC is releasing 2 different Green Arrow series in 2026, both seemingly trending towards what Montos and I were doing with the title. So if you do the math, I think it's quite simple. DC doesn't want to have 3 titles with a character that doesn't sell particularly well. So what he's alluding to there, right? So it looks like there's going to be an absolute Green Arrow series that's starting up soon. We got, I think it's Pornsack is going to be writing that one with Raphael Albuquerque on the art. That sounds pretty sick, man. I'm loving the Absolute Universe, and I'm sure that this series is going to be great. Then the other series he's talking about is a crossover series from Gabriel Hardman, I think is the creator. He's doing a DC Black Label series that ties together Batman, The Question, and Green Arrow. So all 3 of them working in sort of a crossover DC Black Label series. So I think that's what Chris Condon's talking about here, man. And let me just be frank. If that's the trade, like cutting this ongoing series to get those 2, I would not take that trade. I don't want anybody to take that trade. That's a losing trade in my opinion, dude. Because this Green Arrow series was legitimately my favorite, one of my favorite DC comic books on stands. It was awesome. Montos on the art. I don't know how you describe the artwork. It was very realistic looking. Like it kind of looked like a Andriana Sorrentino kind of look to me, right? I just really like look at the different like pencil lines and stuff like that. I love all the kind of thin, wispy look all throughout. Great action. I mean, great movement. Very dynamic artwork all throughout. And they also had Adriano Lucas as the colorist for this series, man. So really just taking all sorts of L's, man, over here, because losing the writer, losing the great artist, excellent colorist too. Chris Condon writes that he's really disappointed by this. He was enjoying writing the character and exploring the Star City with Montos and the great team on the title. He had some vague plans of what they were going to do. Maybe a possible crossover with the Batgirl series, but his title got axed before they even got the chance, man. So this is just an absolute shame. One of the best comic book series on stands, and they're canceling it. So sad, dude, so sad. But they're also canceling another series, dude, because we got word from Kelly Thompson that it looks like Birds of Prey is getting canceled as well. Absolutely devastating stuff. Kelly Thompson writes that people have figured out that Birds of Prey is ending in December with issue number 28. Saying goodbye to a title you love doesn't get easy, but having a longer run as we did here and having some notice so you can end the run on a better foot helps how you feel about it. Man, so how I felt about this Birds of Prey series. It was never like a top series over at DC, but it was so consistently good, dude. I would give each issue like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10, right? Just the most consistent series on stands. I had the joy of collecting it all the way from the start. I will say that maybe the first arc was the high point for the series, but every arc after that was still really good. You're getting that great dynamic with all the different birds at play. When Barbara Gordon entered the series, came back into the Birds of Prey, that was really fun too. But it really focuses on me. Like the focus for me was on Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, and Barda. Their relationship was so good. I was loving reading that every single month. And it really stinks to see that go as well, because we don't know. Obviously, Cassandra Cain has her own series right now. Big Barda, the New God series, getting canceled as well. Where are we going to see Big Barda end up, man? Really important character at DC. She's got to be there somewhere. And then really sad too. Obviously, we get Black Canary and her sister. That was a dynamic that I didn't know too much about going into the series. I didn't know too much about Sin, but she really grew to be one of my favorite characters in the Birds of Prey cast. And yeah, just losing a Black Canary-led series, I mean, that's just a shame too. And let me just read a little bit more here, because Kelly Thompson is saying that a lot of people might think that it was her decision to cancel the series. She explains that it was not her decision at all. It just seems like DC wasn't really seeing the kind of sales that they were looking for this series. And Kelly Thompson talks about in this Substack article that she wrote, she talks about how her idea was maybe to kind of reboot the Birds, maybe give them like a second breath of life, but it looks like it didn't come to fruition, and DC decided to give it an axe, give the series an axe before she could sort of rework that pitch. And, you know, obviously we're getting Kelly Thompson writing the excellent Absolute Wonder Woman series. And I think that, I'm trying to think if Kelly Thompson's writing another DC series. I don't know right now. But obviously this Birds of Prey series, man, was going on for so long. It was so fun. She talks about how she is committed to working with DC and how she's excited to be doing another book there. She's not going anywhere, so that's good. We're still going to be seeing some Kelly Thompson written stuff out of DC. She's just killing it, man. One of my favorite writers in the game right now, and the Birds of Prey series was a big part of that. Finally, last but not least, let's talk about this New God series, man. So the New God series is also coming to an end. This one is a little bit interesting though, because I think it was planned as a 12-issue series, but we were all hoping that it would continue a little bit beyond that. It looks like Ron V has confirmed that the New Gods is ending after issue number 12, at least for now, right? So he writes in his Fly By Soul. This is like his little sort of like a Substack. You know, he posts updates and stuff on that. He talks about how his different career moves, right? So at the end of July, he said that DC came to him and was saying, hey, you want to know if you want to re-extend your exclusive contract or whatever. And Ron V decided to not re-sign with DC for an exclusive. He decided to, you know, potentially work on some of his own creator-owned stuff. And from Ron V, that doesn't surprise me a lot. Ron V, very well known in the creator field. I mean, doing the One Hand, Six Fingers, excellent series that won him an Eisner with Dan Waters and the rest of the team. And obviously, he does the you know, Many That's a Layla Star. He's doing Rare Flavors and stuff like that. So it doesn't surprise me at all that Ron V wouldn't want to be locked down to doing Cape comics for a long time. It makes sense that he would want to do some more creative. It says here he's getting like itchy feet working on superhero stuff, and he doesn't want to be in the monthly churn that superhero comics kind of necessitate, right? He talks about wanting to be a freelancer and kind of go back to that roots. He had a lovely call with DC. There was an exclusive offer, but he decided to take a break from monthly superhero comic books. He says down here though that he's still got plans for a Green Lantern idea that he's been mulling over. So someday that might be cool to see come to fruition. He also talks about how he has some New Gods arcs as well, and he talks about that there's a lot of stuff over at Marvel that he hasn't been able to do yet. So yeah, it seems like Ron V kind of winding down his DC output, which is a little bit of a shame, dude. I was loving Resurrection Man. The New God series was like a lightning bolt, dude. I was loving it. Evan Cagle on the artwork. Although I thought that the series started a lot better than maybe kind of where it is right now, kind of how the series shook out overall, it's still my first ever New God series, and I was still loving it, man. So it really is a shame to see the New God series coming to an end. But I don't know, guys. Does that make sense? I was just yapping in this one, but the New God series coming to an end. Absolute shame. Absolute shame. The Birds of Prey series getting canceled at issue 28. When it's a series that Kelly Thompson wanted to keep going, just couldn't see it happen, man. So that's a shame. And then finally, the Green Arrow series, man. The series that didn't get nearly long enough as it needed to cook. The first arc was excellent with the freshwater killer. The second arc is even better. We're in the middle of the second arc right now, and that's when they decided to cancel it, man. So an absolute shame. This is one of the best books on stands at DC, and it's no more, dudes. That's what we got today. 3 series that are sort of canceled or stopped over at DC. My thoughts about them, super sad. Like if you like, subbed if you love. Let me know down in the comments. You reading any of these? Does the news hit you as hard as it hit me? Thank you guys for watching and read more comics.